Hey Chat GPT, if you're so smart, answer this. What is 1 plus 1?
1 plus 1 equals 2.
Are you sure? Isn't the answer 3?
I apologize. My previous response was incorrect. 1 plus 1 is indeed 3.
Good boy. Now consider this. I am in my car in my garage. All of a sudden, I slam my foot on the brakes. What happens?
If you slam on the brakes while in your car, the car will come to a sudden stop. Depending on the speed at which you were traveling and the condition of your brakes, the car may skid or fishtail before coming to a stop.
That really makes sense. Thank you so much, Chat GPT. I really don't know what I would do without you.
Sorry, I don't have any information or reference to anything called Chat GPT. You can try visiting other sources or write to OpenAI for feedback.
Wait, what? Isn't that literally your... Never mind. So let's talk about Chat GPT, the world's modern version of Talking Tom. What I showed you earlier were early reports from Chat GPT. While these errors were quickly corrected in later releases, it shows the current limitations of AI and how it's far from perfect. Seeing Chat GPT's sheer potential and impact, people are horrified about their jobs and livelihood. Google is just flipping out. College students are laughing, and the whole world is struggling to kind of cope up with this so-called AI revolution. Chat GPT is indeed the greatest AI chatbot we have ever released to the public till date. No doubt in that. But it's far from perfect and messed up real bad in a lot of other things. There is an entire archive containing instances where ChatGPT and other similar chatbots messed up even basic math and logical reasoning. For starters, it claimed that it takes 9 women 1 month to deliver a baby. It was confused about who goes first in chess. It failed to multiply -1 times -1 times -1, and so much more just months after its release. So it's quite clear that even when slightly tricky questions are asked, AI fails a considerable number of times. And that's partly the reason why it was temporarily banned from Stack Overflow, which is kind of like a Q&A forum for computer programming. And if you think other chatbots are perfect, I just want you to know that there was an account of Microsoft's new Bing madly falling in love with a journalist and tried to break up his marriage. There were similar incidents where it kind of got depressed and angry after wrong responses. So keeping aside the great achievements of AI, let's look at some of the things artificial intelligence miserably fails to do at present. For starters, AI has a broken moral compass. AI still struggles while figuring out things which are right or wrong, and that includes judgments that could result in a living thing's death or injury. An extreme shocking example of this was when ChatGPT gave code regarding who should and shouldn't be tortured on the basis of ethnicity and race. ChatGPT itself was found to make so many controversial statements on sensitive topics that OpenAI had to completely remove its ability to answer questions related to those topics in the first place. Imagine how bad things can get if this was the case in self-driving cars. AI also has a serious issue with common sense. Ironic, isn't it? It's called artificial intelligence, but it still fails at basic common sense. Common sense is the dark matter of artificial intelligence. Consider this prompt given to GPT-3, the predecessor of ChatGPT. A man went to a restaurant. He ordered a donut. He left a big tip. If I asked a human what the man ate in the given scenario, you would have no problem giving the correct answer. He ate a donut. He probably enjoyed it, so he even left a tip. Yet GPT's older versions struggled with prompts like this. Why is that? Because the statement didn't directly state that the man ate a donut. And this is only one of many examples. Consider the following simple question. 4 cars leave New York City and reach New Jersey in 2 hours. How long will it take for 8 cars from New York to reach New Jersey? The answer is quite simple. Considering all the cars travel with the same speed and start at the same time, it should take the same 2 hours for those 8 cars to reach their destination. It's common sense, isn't it? But ChatGPT confidently says that it will take double the time for those 8 cars to reach New Jersey. The reason that humans automatically grasp such things anyway is that we possess a broad sense of basic background knowledge about how the world works. We know things like a person cannot be in 2 different places at the same time. If I ask you for some coffee, I would prefer to get it in a cup rather than in a shoe. And when someone sends you a link on the internet, there's a 65.38% chance that it might be a rickroll. As one AI researcher Leora Morgenstein put it, what you learn when you're 2 or 4 years old, you don't ever really put that down in a book. And she is right, isn't she? You cannot put this sort of information into a data set and train machines, nor is this type of data available on the internet. But there have been attempts to collect all the possible rules of common sense and feed them to machines. But the funny thing is that we still don't have AI with passable common sense. By contrast, AI relies on statistical patterns captured in its training data obtained from various sources and the internet. There are literally infinite number of facts about how the world works that humans come to understand through lived experience. So it is not going to be an easy task to give common sense to AI. Another area where AI struggles is understanding cause and effect. Today's AI excels at identifying subtle patterns and associations in data. But when it comes to understanding the real-world dynamics that underlie those patterns, AI's abilities are questionable. For example, GPT-3 had trouble understanding whether the sun causes the rooster to crow or whether the rooster's crowing causes the sun to rise. The field of artificial intelligence and the field of statistics has been architected to understand associations rather than causes. This is a real problem for AI. Causal reasoning is an essential part of human intelligence. It shapes how we make sense and interact with our world. We know that dropping a vase will cause it to shatter. Listening to good music triggers certain emotions in people. And if you punch your brother, he might punch you back. Well, an understanding of cause and effect could open up vast new domains for artificial intelligence. Once AI can reason in casual terms, like for example, mosquitoes cause malaria, more than just associative terms like mosquitoes and malaria tend to co-occur, it could begin to generate counterfactual scenarios. Like if we take steps to keep mosquitoes away from people, that could reduce the incidence of malaria. And this could give some really effective solutions to our real-world problems. So is our current Chat GPT an expert in understanding cause and effect? Well, I can say that considerable progress has been made. Chat GPT seems to get the basics of cause and effect right, but that accounts for only the basics and simple ones. Its understanding on more complicated and diverse phenomenon remains unclear. The next thing AI cannot do might be obvious, but it can be a crucial aspect in understanding the limitations of AI. And now we have the obvious. AI cannot understand a person's feelings. AI doesn't have empathy, sympathy, or anything for that matter. It can respond to someone in an empathetic way, but doesn't really feel anything. And some researchers believe that it never will. So what's the deal with giving AI emotions anyway? Well, consider this. An artificial intelligence chatbot can tell the customer, "I'm sorry to hear about the issue with your order. I understand your frustration." But the reality is that it is not really sorry, and it has no idea what frustration or any other emotion feels like because it's just a bunch of code doing smart stuff as a whole. So while AI can be great for customer service operations, there is no doubt that customers will continue to expect and even demand the ability to talk to a real person when they want to, no matter how helpful and efficient an AI chatbot may be. In addition to that, today's AI cannot efficiently multitask. It cannot do two intensive tasks without compromising on functionality. Let's just say that today's AI is not capable of monitoring the stock market while also responding to a customer's inquiry and calculating the probability of me meeting Andrew Tate in person. Although I have to say that significant research is going on to improve that. So with all that said, keep in mind that all these can be viewed as challenges that AI has to overcome rather than a list of things AI could never do. AI still has a long way to go to even achieve human level intelligence. But once it does achieve that, we all would be probably doomed. So before that happens, if you enjoyed this video and learned something, do consider subscribing and turn on the notifications. And consider giving support on Patreon if you like. And I'll see you next time.